Welcome to the 29th FILMFEST Hamburg. Today we are hosting the film El Garib, Stranger, and now we're together with the director, Ameer, Fakher, Eldin. Ameer, welcome.
Hello, thank you. Thank you very much.
And I just want to start with the story of your journey, actually. As a debut film, it's a great start with Venice, and now you are with us in Hamburg Film Festival. When I look at the credits, I found 4 countries as co-productions, including Syria. And so I wanted to ask you, how was the journey regarding the production? How did you end up financing the film? What does it mean for you to have Syria as a production country there? Is this just a homage or so? Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, maybe really in a parallel world, a dreamy world that I could really. That Syria could really be an actual production country, but as we all know, it's really almost impossible. And so yeah, so it is more of a choice of also identity choice, because I have it's me who did this film, and the Golan Heights are the background of the Golan Heights, which is. It's like I always say, it's like a forgotten occupation. I mean, I relate to it always that it's been more than 50 years, and this place is torn between the homeland and this reality we live in. So basically that's why Syria is on the map on the production countries.
So how was the journey for you? How did you finance? Where did you shoot the film?
The film was shot in the Golan Heights in Majd al-Shams, basically the village where I come from, and of course the nature of the Golan Heights, which is amazing nature, and you can see that in the film. The journey started. I mean, of financing, it's very hard. It's very hard, and if you want to make if you want this to be, a co-production, then you have to have a mother country that, can fit a co-production in Europe. And that was really an issue, and it was really not easy to explain my situation. And so mostly for co-production film funds, and so mostly it was like grants and like film grants from film institute, yeah, it's a little film actually.
And I'm continuing with the credits. When I look at the credits, I see your name as a writer, director, but also the editor. So I want to ask to the editor, how was his relation with the director and the writer when he was on the editing table?
Yeah, it's a schizophrenic process, and really it is. But I learned a lot. I mean, through this definitely, and because comparing, as you already mentioned now, that being the writer and director, and then editing your own this material, it's really you feel the power. You feel. I mean, if you thought that while writing a script you could really like be as wide as you can in your imagination, in editing there's a really similar process. Maybe the horizon is not seen, but it is there, and it was an amazing journey for me. I mean, tough, really tough, but very exciting and very thoughtful journey, I would say. I think there is things we do as filmmakers on set, and mostly that sometimes when like you can plan everything, you can think you're planning everything, but on set there is surprises, and there's your ability to react to them, and there suddenly you find yourself improvising in some moments, and this you see then in editing room, and this is like material you don't know, or at least you did not plan. So there is a lot of reflection in the editing. So that's answering this question. I mean, I really reflected upon my whole process. And it was just to take responsibility about it, really, because also usually when you work with a third like a third party or like an editor, who can really, that's the great thing about it, that he can really brings you this fresh eye and fresh and keeps you away. So I had also an additional editor who I really needed, because I was in a moment where it's like I need to see it from outside, and I also give him a big salute. He's called Ozcan Vardar, and he's amazing. He's an amazing
He
editor.
is.
Yeah, and so we worked for like a month together. Just I really needed this someone to freshen up things, but then I got back to it again. So it was really a process. It took a year of editing. So.
Well, for me, El Garib is, I prefer to use the name in Arabic, because I believe El Garib is something more than stranger. But El Garib for me is a cinematic journey to a homeland, which I assume you never lived in. Am I right?
True. You're right.
So actually, you just went to shoot the film, I think, right? Because you were born in Soviet Russia.
Okay. No, I get you wrong. I thought the homeland you referred to Syria. Syria is the homeland of the Golan resident. But no, I grew up in the Golan Heights. After I was born in Russia, in the Soviet Union. My parents were studying medicine once in the time. And then at the age of 5 or something, they came back after the fall of the Union. Really, it was really mess. It was mayhem. So they really went back. Although the plans were really to stay there, and I don't know what will happen if we stayed there. I don't know, but no, definitely I lived and grew up in the Golan Heights.
Okay.
Referring to this place as if it's like the magical homeland that the character actually dreams about in this film is more in the details of in general in the Middle East, and in the East, and in every country that is suffering, or going crisis. I think there is a lot of dreamers, and there's a lot, and this hero here and protagonist we have in this film is also a dreamer, but being strange amongst your society makes you really, when you dream, you dream about a magical homeland that you could never, like you don't know, so I think there's a lot of dreamers in this world, and that they dream about magic homelands that they never been to, that they don't know, but they dream about them, and that's, I think, what really represents this layer of.
And sometimes you are even overreading it, right?
True.
Yeah. Adnan is a doctor coming from Soviet Russia and just trying to understand the area, let's say, and he's a dreamer, yes. But I also thought while watching it should be some autobiographical part of it as well with you. Is it right? Or it's your father?
I don't know. It's not really one-on-one of anything, but I think this movie, especially this film, is a collage of experiences, different experiences, not necessarily for one. My father is similar, maybe kind of narrative, but really different at the same time. He didn't work as a doctor. He studied in medicine in Russia. He never worked as a doctor from different reasons, but I really took this situation of being of having a lot of expectations on you, of being a stranger, exactly. In all the and that's why we don't, in this film, we don't really, at least I didn't really want to give or to point at one or a specific reason, because I wanted to widen the scope and touch the feeling, touch the strangers in general. Not only, it was very easy to take my father's story and his reasons, and then it's more, but it wasn't my desire anytime.
Around like the end of the film, it's very personal, because in these days I'm just thinking about respect to that issue with like the ongoing Syrian war, with what's going on in Afghanistan, especially in Middle East. And I was just thinking about like respect to that, which is a kind of a philosophical thing that we have to think about, is not something which is on the table a lot in the Middle East. And I believe that we should think a lot about this. on all over the geography. So while watching Adnan's story, and with the end of the film, of course, I had the feeling that, as you are also mentioning, the existentialist crisis of Adnan is having in his life, how do you think we will be able to bury our loved ones?
It's an amazing amazing question. It's an amazing perspective. I really admire. It's really touching and unfortunately true, that in this crisis nowadays, a lot of, as you said, a lot of dead people did not have the privilege to be buried, as you mentioned, so there's a lot of victims. There is. If you ask me personally, I try to use our tragic hero, that he's a stranger, meaning that he is in uncomfort. He is us now, or he really do represent everyone who is really going through this crisis. Doesn't have to be existential crisis. It can be a crisis, of a nation, and basically, so the dilemma here, I mean, or what we should avoid, in my opinion, also, not only, of course, we should care more about the dead, but also we should avoid dying while living. And that's what actually he is trying to point at the end. Like, so why do we fear death if we're not yet alive? And that means at some point that for me, or at least I want to point at, it's really much harder to be dead while being alive. Like, and this can translate in a lot of different layers, political, humanitarian. Like watching the scenes from Afghanistan lately breaks your heart, and it makes you feel that you are responsible as well. I mean, just because you see this, you're responsible, but what you can't do anything. And there's a very tragic, it's a tragic situation, and I really hope everyone really at the end gets the respect he deserves, in this, at least.
Yeah, we hope in the safe places, in the safe countries, in the safe graves, if they can. Yeah. Ameer, thank you very much for sharing with us your beautiful film El Garib. And we hope to meet physically as well in the movie theaters.
Sure.
So
thank you very much, dear, and thank you FILMFEST Hamburg for inviting us. And it's an amazing festival. I love it, and Hamburg in general is also my new home. You can say, and I thank you very much again. And I hope you have a great edition, and I hope to see you soon.